welcome to my channel. I'm Anne and today I'm going to be bringing you a video where I talk about the series that I need to finish this year. I am terrible, like absolutely terrible at finishing a series. I'll start a series, read maybe one book, and then I'll read something else and then forget about that series. So I have a stack of books here beside me. I also have a post on Instagram that talk about some of the series that I want to finish this year, but my goal is ideally to finish all of these and the series that I posted on that graphic. So I'll post that down below if you want to have a look at some of the other series that I'm planning on finishing in 2025. So let's just get straight into it and talk about some of these books. So the first series that I want to finish is the Scythe series. I think this is called the Scythe series. But this is one that I read back in 2020, I think, and this is in a perfect world, the only way to die is to be gleaned by a professional scythe. When Citra and Rowan are chosen to be apprentice scythes, they know that they have no option but to learn the art of killing. However, the terrifying responsibility of choosing their victims is just the start. Corruption is the order of the day, and Citra and Rowan need to stick together to fight it. Then they are told one of them will have to glean the other. So this is really good. I really enjoyed this when I read it back in 2020 or 2021, I can't remember, but I had a really good time with this, so I definitely want to continue with the series. I've heard really good things about book 2 and not so great things about book 3, which I think kind of turned me off from continuing with this series, but I did really enjoy Citra and Rowan. I love them as characters. I loved the scythes in here, and I just love that this is a very unique and unusual sort of world. And yeah, I just loved the world building. I loved the how certain sides decide to kill people, like based on statistics from the old world. So like 100,000 people a year will die of cancer or something, and then they will kill in that way, or like kill that many people to help with overpopulation. It's just really interesting, so I definitely do want to continue with this series and finally finish it. The next one that has kind of jumped back onto my TBR is the Children of Bone series by Tomi Adeyemi. This is getting a movie deal or an adaptation. Anyway, it's becoming an adaptation, and it has a stacked cast. Like Viola Davis is in there and some really amazing actors, so it's kind of got me excited about the series again. So I read book 1 back in 2020 as well, or 2021. Really loved it. Book 2 wasn't out yet, so I didn't continue, but then I just never continued when book 2 finally came out. So they killed my mother, they took our magic, they tried to bury us, now we rise. So in this one we're following our main character. What is this? I don't know what this is. Oh, I think because I bought this from someone online that they kind of gave me a little note. This is, I hope you enjoy this book, which I think is really cute with a little stamp. I did not remember that. But yeah, so we've got Zeely remembers when the soil of Orisha hummed with magic, when different clans ruled, Birna's igniting flames, Tyler's beckoning the waves, and Zeely's Reaper Mother summoning forth souls. But everything changed the night magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, anyone with powers was targeted and killed, leaving Zeely without a mother and her people without hope. Only a few people remain with the power to use magic, and they must stay hidden. Zeely is one such person. Now she has the chance to bring back magic to her people and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Zeely must learn to harness her powers and outrun the crown prince, who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. Danger lurks in Orisha, where strange creatures prowl and vengeful spirits wait in the waters. Yet the greatest danger may be Zeely herself, as she struggles to come to terms with the strength of her magic and her growing feelings for an enemy. I remember really enjoying this, so I'm very excited to finally reread this and then continue with the series, because it is about bloody time, especially so I can kind of watch the adaptation when it comes out, whenever it comes out. Another series that I read many years ago, book 1, and then never continued, is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. So this has kind of ignited my love. This book was kind of ignited again in my TBR, based on Maddie from Maddie Reads. She loves the series and has kind of been talking about it in our group chat, and I definitely want to pick it back up again. So when I read this, I gave it a 4-star. I found the writing style to be quite jarring, just because I was reading a lot of very whimsical and beautiful writing, whereas this is more straight to the point, very simple writing. But in this one, we're following our main character Jude, and her parents were killed in front of them, and then the person who killed her parents takes them and brings them back to the fairy world to raise them as his own. So Jude is a human in the fairy realm, and she is kind of looked down upon, and she also has this enemies sort of rival with Cardan, the prince of the fairy world, and we kind of watch them torment each other. And yeah, I'm very excited to continue with this one. I've heard really great things about the Wicked King and the Queen of Nothing, so I'm definitely excited to continue with this one and kind of read it. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. Another one that I've been avoiding and read many years ago, but this author is an author that I truly love. This was a 5-star read for me, and it is Crescent City by Sarah J Maas, or House of Earth and Blood. I read this from the library back in 2020, 2021, something like that. Can you recognize the theme here? And then never continued with the series because I heard not so great things about House of Sky and Breath, and then House of Flame and Shadow just recently came out, I think last year. But this is following our main character, Bryce Quinlan. She parties, she takes drugs, she drinks, she has a lot of fun with people, and then something happens and she has to kind of change the way her life is. She has to work with an angel who is sent to protect her and to try and figure out this murderer who is going around killing people that kind of is reminiscent of murders that happened many years ago. So we're following her as she's trying to understand and figure out what has happened. I loved this book when I first read it, so I'm very excited to continue with this one, but also kind of scared because I've heard such negative things about House of Sky and Breath and House of Flame and Shadow, and they are chunky books. So yeah, I've been rereading the Throne of Glass series, and I did finish the ACOTAR series last year, so it's about time that I finally continue with this one and actually finish it off this year. There is going to be more in the series, I think, but the 3 books of the Crescent City series follow Bryce, and that story arc is finished, and I think we'll then be following some different characters in here. The next one that I've been talking about for months and just have not continued because I'm scared of reading book 1 is Things We Never Got Over. I read this back in 2023 possibly, or yeah, 2023, and then I reread it in 2024 in preparation to read book 2, and then I never picked up book 2. Something about book 2 is just terrifying me. I think because I love Nox and Naomi so much in this book that I'm kind of scared to move on to the different characters within this one. This is one of my favorite contemporary romances ever. In this one, we're following Naomi, and she is a runaway bride, so she runs away on her wedding day and has to go and help her twin sister, who is like the bad twin. And when she turns up in this little town, Knockma, her sister steals her car and leaves her with her daughter. So she is now with this 11-year-old, having no car, having no money, having nothing, and not knowing what to do. And then we meet the town grump Knox, and he decides that he needs to help her because this child doesn't deserve this. And we watch their romance blossom. He is the biggest grump, and I love him, and I just really love this story. I annotated it, so I do think I might reread this one again and just immediately just binge this whole series because I love Nox and Naomi, and I just really want to be with them again. And yeah, I love this book, but I'm scared to carry on because I just want to follow the Naomi and Nox the whole way through. But I know that book 2 follows Nox's brother Nash, and then the 3rd book follows one of Nox's best friends. So yeah, the next series that I want to finish is the Gilded Wolf series by Roshani Chokshi. I read this back in a couple of months ago, and then I read book 2 in December. I don't know. I finished the Silver Serpents either last month or the month before. I don't think it was last month, I think it was December. But then I I've been buddy reading it with my friend Elizabeth, but she has finished book 3 because I'm a slagger. So I only have one book in this series and I don't need to reread these, so it is good. So in this one we're following our main character Severin and a group of his people that he has kind of taken in as a found family, and he is determined to get his power back because he was stripped of his power when his father passed away. So he is determined to get his kind of power back. Yeah, and he has to hunt down an ancient artifact for the Order of Babel to then get his rightful inheritance or whatever. So this is set in like the 1800s and it's just so beautiful, so magical, so lush with its writing. I really love Roshani Chokski's writing, and I'm very excited to continue with the series and finally finish it off because it is so beautiful and it's been sitting on my TBR for a long time. So we've got one more book in this series and I'm very, very excited. Then I want to finish the Silver and Bone series by Claudia Kane. This is a new re-release. I found this at the op shop, but this is the old version. Has just been re-released and kind of rewritten and re-edited, and I read book 1 as an arc by the author, so that was very exciting. So I do want to continue with the rest of this series because we're following our main character Jennifer Jones, and she is a vampire detective, and in this one we're following her as she is trying to investigate these murders that are like copycats of murders that she has committed back when she was a serial killer and like a young vampire. So we're following her as she is trying to figure it out, and it was so good. I loved it. It was a 5-star read for me, so I definitely want to carry on with this series and finish it off. The next series that I want to finish off is the Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker series, the Fate and Flame series. So in this one we're following our main character Ramiria, and she is like this gifted thief in this contemporary world, and one day she meets this woman who needs her help on a mission, and it turns out that she's sent to a different world and into the body of a princess who has just betrayed the kingdom. So she is basically a prisoner in this body, and she has to try and figure out to help this lady who sent her back to this world. And Ramiria is starting to figure things out and realizing that magic is real and there's this other world out here, while also falling in love with the prince who doesn't trust her because she has betrayed him. And it is really good. I got to about 150 pages in and I wasn't really enjoying it, and I read this in my pre-vlog, so it wasn't that long ago that I read it, but I had a really, really good time with it. I really loved the tension between Xander and Ramiria, and it was just so good. I really, really, really enjoyed it, so I'm very intrigued to continue with this series and see where it goes. And the next one that I am planning on finishing very, very soon, because book 3 comes out on the 11th of Feb, and that is the Butcher and Blackbird series, or the Ruinous Love series. So in this one we're following the what brothers? I can't remember this. Yeah, so we're following these 3 brothers and kind of their relationships. So in book 1 we're following Rowan and Sloane, and this is a friends to lovers dynamic where they have this fun game where they take part in every year, and they are both serial killers, so they go after bad people, and after a bit of a mishap they meet, become friends, and decide that every year they're going to come together and they are going to have this fun competition where they can kill someone, and whoever wins gets to kill that person. And we just watched their relationship grow. I loved it. This is the special Bookish Box Lux edition. Yeah, and I just love this edition. I do need the paperback so I can annotate it, but I am just so obsessed with this book. It's one of my favorite series. Book 2 is about Rowan's brother Lachlan and Sloane's best friend Lark, and then in book 3 we're following the other brother and the lady, I can't remember her name, Rosie and Rose, I think. And I'm just so obsessed with this series. I'm definitely going to be picking up a book 3 as soon as it comes out because I did pre-order it, so it will be hitting my Kindle. But I love the series so much. The tension, the banter, the darkness of the romance is great, and we have some morally great characters which I really, really love and enjoy. So yeah, this is definitely one that I love, and I'm going to be finishing before the end of February, which is really exciting. And the last one that I want to talk about today is the Kingdom of Lies series. So this is the A Court This Cruel and Lovely. I have already read this, but I'm currently in the middle of a reread, but I love this book so much. So in this one, we're following a world where when you were born, your magic is taken away from you, and then when you turn to the age of 25, your magic is given back to you in a small amount so you can help with running the country or helping within your community. And in this one, we're following Priska, who still has power, which is against the law, and if she is found out, she will be killed along with all of her family. So she goes on the run and she ends up coming across this mercenary Lorien, and he has to help her escape, while also she has to help him find something that he is looking for. So I'm currently rereading this one in preparation to pick up book 2 immediately. I love the series with my entire heart. I love Priska and Lorien. It is sort of a reluctant allies to lovers, and this is just so good. I tabbed it up so much, and this was gifted to me by Kelsey, so massive thank you to Kelsey for gifting this to me. I just really love this series, and I'm very excited to continue because I've got book 2 right beside me ready to go to immediately go into this one. So I'm rereading this one again just because I've missed the little, I forget the nuances of the story. I know how it ends, but I just want to go immediately from this one into the second book and kind of binge this whole series immediately because I'm just so obsessed with it. So yeah, those are the, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are some of the 10 series that I'm focusing on this year to finish, because these are mainly on my shelves. So I definitely want to finish them off and get some of these books off my TBR shelf. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're planning on finishing, what series you're planning on finishing in the year of 2025, and make sure to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. Bye!